Alrighty, y'all, I am back with another video. Haven't done these in a while, but I wanted to kind of get back on it. So today I'm going over my trade in Top Step. I am still trying to pass the combine. I took a loss of $250 around 2 weeks ago. So I am trying to build back to that $1,000 mark and hopefully go ahead and hit that $3,000 mark. What I have implemented into my trading strategy is volume profiles. I think that this is pretty much what's going to put me over the hump. It's been pretty helpful in the last couple of last 2 weeks that I've been testing it out with my trading plan. So I'm just going to go over that today with you guys and just how pretty much volume profiles are helping me, and then kind of go over kind of what didn't work. Or, I mean, my trade worked out today, but just kind of point out some of the things that I could have done better today as far as risk management. So if you've been watching me, typically what I'll do is I will mark up the chart from on Sundays, and basically what I'm doing, I'm just and even like I've started to kind of start all the way up on the weekly chart and just kind of identify where we're at. So you can see the most recent weekly order block is down here, and so we've been going up. As far as I'm trading the NAS in Q, we've been going up for the last 3 weeks. So I will mark up the weekly order block, and then I'll come down to the day chart, and then I will mark up the day chart. I will also draw out my Fibonacci levels, so that's what I did last night. The Fibonacci levels are represented by these light pink price labels right here, so that those are the Fibonacci levels. I will also mark out weekly inefficiencies now, and of course the day inefficiencies as well. So that is what I marked up last night. So you can see we have a day inefficiency right here, and everything else has been pretty efficient, but we do have that day inefficiency right there, which is below the previous daily low. So from there, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll move down to the 4-hour chart. And on the 4-hour chart, I'll do the same thing. I will mark up my order blocks. What I'm trying to do now is just kind of only focus in on the order blocks that I have that are kind of like in line with, the current trend line. And that's, nearest to overall price. So that is what I did here. Last night, I marked up the 4-hour order block. I did go ahead and mark this one up. I think it may have already been marked up, but that's what that is. And so I marked that up. And then I also marked up this one that's in line with, I believe, this day trend line, and went ahead and marked up the 4-hour Fibonacci levels, which are represented by these light purple price labels here. So overnight, this is where we were, and you can kind of see that price came down and almost hit our first Fibonacci level on the 4-hour chart. From there, what I go ahead and do is I move down to the 1-hour chart, and I'll go ahead and mark up the 1-hour chart, marking up inefficiency levels. And this is where I will go ahead and mark up, or begin to mark up my my volume profile. So what I've been doing, and then also along with that, I'll mark up these zones. So these zones kind of just represent like support and resistance zones, which I have found to be extremely helpful, because price doesn't always just come down to a exact line. Typically price is going to go into a zone. So this has been very beneficial with my overall comprehension of what's going on in the market, and just being able to react, and not being so stringent or so anal about price coming down to an actual like trend line. So that's been very helpful as well. I did want to mention that. So drew up this 1-hour trend line here. I know it may be kind of hard to see with everything kind of going on, but just kind of bear with me. Again, what I'll go ahead and do is, mark up the 1-hour order blocks, which I believe I marked these up actually this morning. But if there are any 1 hour order blocks, I will mark those up along with the 1 hour inefficiencies. And then what I've started to do is add in my volume profile. So my volume profile, I will start from, since this was Sunday going into Monday, I marked up the previous volume profile starting on Friday at 9 a.m. and allowed this to basically just be, just extend right. So I marked up the actual lines of, or the marked up the value area lows, and just identified that as previous daily volume area low. So I marked those up here, and I mark them up with like a dotted line, and I basically just go ahead and lock those in. So that way on Monday I know that, you know, the previous daily value area low on Sunday was right here, and then we can I'm able to see if price, you know, has moved up or moved down comparative to where the previous daily volume area low was. So that's what basically I'm doing on Sunday. What I'll also do too, since I'm sitting there on Sunday, and this helps prepare me for Monday, is I'll go ahead and I'll mark up the volume profile on Sunday. So I'll start that at 5 p.m. and then also extend that right as well. So that way, again, on Monday, I'm able to see, you know, the difference in price, you know, kind of where we're at. And then basically I'll lock in those levels as well. So for those levels, I'll mark those off as, you know, overnight volume area low, OVAL. Again, the style is going to be a ... And then that way, again, when I come on Monday, I'm able to see price having moved up or down, you know, relative to where it was, you know, the night before. Also on the 1 hour chart, I'm going to mark up Fibonacci levels. So that's what I did last night. Basically, price was over here, or it wasn't over here, but the low of this leg here was right there. And so that's where, you know, I'm getting those Fibonacci levels. So the 1 hour Fibonacci levels are represented by the light blue price labels. And so when I came in this morning, I was able to see, okay, price had gone all the way through these Fibonacci levels, which was a good sign for me that, okay, we've already satisfied this retracement and that we have a probability of price moving upwards. So all of that was excellent. So when I came into this morning, again, I was able to see that, and then I was able to see that we basically price had formed a 1 hour order block. I went ahead and marked that off. I also was able to see that price had, again, come down to, you know, at least the top, that 28% level, Fibonacci level on the 4 hour chart. So all of that was looking excellent. So I did go ahead and I believe this marked up the 1 hour break of structure here. So I marked that up. As you can kind of see, price at 7 o'clock had basically retested this order block and retested this 1 hour break of structure, which again was a great sign that we would be having bullish pressure or bullish momentum. So from there, I'm basically coming in at 8 o'clock and I'm basically waiting until 8:30, or really I'm waiting until 9 to take in to put in a trade, but I'm just kind of patiently waiting and just kind of, you know, kind of just watching price and seeing what's going on. I found that this has been helpful when trading NAS, just simply because, and we're having issues. This is why I want to always make sure that I'm coming in here and like adjusting this, because for whatever reason it gets stuck. So yeah, so then I'll come down into the 30-minute chart, and basically I'm just kind of marking up things a little bit further. I don't think I marked up a 30-minute inefficiency. I might have, but oh yeah, I did here. So I'm just marking up that inefficiency, but I'm also just kind of watching the volume profiles and basically seeing where price is comparative to where the volume area lows and point of controls were from the night prior. So on here, you know, I noticed that, you know, we have our market structure. We did, you know, break market structure, at least on the 30-minute. Again, I already marked that out on the 1 hour. So again, just kind of just watching what's going on. I'll move down to the 15-minute. I did mark up some 15-minute inefficiencies, but I don't really necessarily need to do that. But so basically, again, I'm just waiting. What I do use is making sure that on the 1 hour, just kind of seeing where the RSI is. So I was able to see that, hey, we had, been oversold on the 1 hour, kind of overnight, and we were coming out of that section. Basically at 8, we were in this oversold. We were oversold on the 1 hour chart. But what I've come to realize is that just because it's oversold on the 1 hour chart doesn't mean that it's time to sell. Price can be oversold for a while. So that's been, basically like a learning, that's been a part of my learning curve. So anywho, coming down to the 15-minute, I'm basically just waiting. I'll go down to the 5-minute. And what I was doing here is just kind of marking out the Fibonacci levels on the 5-minute chart. So for that, basically, I was just kind of marking off from right here all the way up to what was this point right here. And I'll just kind of draw that out. Basically, what that gave me is pretty much these levels here, as you can see, represented by the light green price labels. So let's see if I can get that off of here. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And so basically at 8:30, that's when I'll go ahead and mark up the volume area profile for the New York session. And then I'll go ahead and lock in those levels as well. So that's what I did here. You can see the New York session volume area low right here was locked in, and the New York session point of control locked that in, and then locked in the New York session volume area high as well. Locked all of those in. So again, that way I'm able to compare where price is comparative to, the volume areas. So once price had, once 9 o'clock had hit, and I had seen that price had come down and hit the first area or the first Fibonacci level on the 5-minute, I was then, that was a more confirmation that, okay, price is going to, potentially be bullish. And basically what I was waiting for, I moved to the 1 minute chart, and I was waiting for price to basically be in an oversold position. So I wasn't just moving just because it came and it hit this Fibonacci level. That was a good sign, but I was waiting for price to be oversold. And so that took a little minute, or maybe 1 or 2 minutes, but I was able to wait. It does seem like, I have to admit, I'm a little impatient or impulsive. So this has been major for me. It's major for me to be able to wait. So I'm waiting, and the next part of my trading plan is basically waiting for price, once it is in an oversold position on the 1 minute chart, waiting for price to cross over this 5 SMA. So that's what I'm looking for, is for price to cross over this 5 SMA. And once I got that, that's when I went ahead and entered into my position. I mean, I kind of waited a little bit because I just wanted to make sure that this candlestick didn't, continue to drop down. And I do want to highlight that I did notice this zone area. I'm going to clear the chart so you can kind of see it better. So this was a zone area of like support and resistance. Like this area kind of created like a support and resistance area. So I marked that off, which was helpful because otherwise there was a 5-minute order block, which you can see down here, and price did not come into that 5-minute order block. And that's why, again, these zone areas are very helpful, because it just kind of, price may not always come into a 5-minute order block or, or straight to a trend line. So that was major. So from there, I got in. Now this is where things went kind of wonky for me. Also, too, I just wanted to mention, I wanted to make sure that the 5-minute chart, when I'm keeping in mind, is that I want to make sure that the 5-minute chart does not like kind of break structure. It did on this candlestick, but price didn't go below this 5-minute low, if that makes sense. So I felt good about still being bullish on this and not worrying about price reversing on me on the 5-minute. So just to let you know, I want to, I'm keeping that in mind. So from there, again, price has crossed over on the 1 minute over this 5 SMA. I'm getting into the trade, and I got in with 3 contracts, which was good. I should have gotten in with 4, because basically this is where things kind of went wrong on my money management or on my risk management side. So everything from the read up was great, perfect. It was wonderful, and you can see prices continue to push up. It would have been a massive day today. However, when I went in, Top Step kind of has like this new OCO bracket. They're like supposed to be automated. I don't necessarily know what the difference is between that and the position brackets per se, but when price was moving up, and it's hard for me to even see over here, but I put in for a 3 position, again, wonderful. Price had hit this 10 point move here, and pretty much I'm just looking for 10 points on the euro. When I'm trading the euro, or for the algorithm that I have on the euro, I'm looking for price to basically hit 5 pips. And here, price, or on the NAS, I'm looking for at least 10 points. And I got that. But when I went to go hit the break even on Top Step did not, it did not move my position. So I don't know if that has something to do with the automatic OCO brackets or what, but price did not move. So that kind of threw me off. And then I basically just trailed the market on the 30-second chart over there on Top Step. And so by doing so, I did get stopped out, which I was fine with, but really I'm not, because I really need to pass the test. So ideally what I'm supposed to be doing is at 10, I'm supposed to be taking partials and then letting at least one contract trail the market. And had that happen, you can see it would have been a massive day. So basically I do that to try to pacify my impulsive need to like see some sort of profit very, quickly, and also to try to catch the move. So that was the trade today. I was going to wait. As you can see, I put like an alert for maybe if price would come back down to my, to this oversold position on the 1 minute. But as you can see, that has not happened. And typically that's not going to happen. Once NAS gets to moving, it's moving, and you are kind of out of the trade. Like, you're not really getting back in unless you're forcing yourself to be in. And for me, I'm just really trying to make sure that I adhere to my trading plan, and I'm, just being consistent in the way that I approach my entries every day. So that is where we're at. Ultimately, this would have been, it was a good trade. I made $50, but that's like, what the heck? And I don't have 5 accounts with Top Step. I only have the 1. So it's really just like, but I am pretty excited about this. Volume profiles is really making a difference in my trading. I can really see the potential and the opportunity here. So I am very excited. Again, I think that this is going to be the turning point in my trading journey. And I'm just very, very excited and happy about where I'm at in my journey. So tomorrow, hopefully I'll come in here and I'll be able to, make sure that I'm able to, hold or put in 4 contracts, take 2 contracts off the table at 10 points, and then allow, once, take the other 1 contract off once my trade hits a 1-to-1, and then allow the other one to just kind of trail. So that was the trade for today. I hope that this was helpful, and that you guys were able to get something out of it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the description. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.